We're live, but I'm feeling dead. This is the Aaron Zero show. Time to move ahead. Another edition of today's noise. And what do we have here, friends? The tiny nation of Cabo Verde is making headlines in the World Cup tournament because it has held its own, and this is a country of 500,000 people. It's held its own against mighty Spain to a draw, which would be unheard of. And you would expect one of the other football giants like England, Germany, or France would hold Spain to a draw, but not a tiny little country called Cabo Verde. And then it held another country, Saudi Arabia, to a draw. So the upshot is that this tiny country is now in the World Cup knockout round, and it's going to face the mighty Argentina with Lionel Messi. You don't want to be near Messi because he'll mess you up. But still, their ride into World Cup knockout is accelerating for a tiny little country, and it's the stuff of what dreams are made of. And it shows that you can never count anybody out until they're out. And I say the same for the nation of India, which is 1.4 billion people. They should have been allowed to play in a qualifying round. And if they would have been knocked out by any other country, so be it. But not to be given a chance even is to deny 1.4 billion people their rightful opportunity. So I hope the FIFA, the FOFO, the FAFAM will get their act together. And next time, the Indians definitely should be there to see what they can do also. Because unless you are there in the World Championship game, you never know what you really can do. And the days are full of surprises where you have counted a team out. I'm sure the World Cup, when it started, Cabo Verde was nowhere on the list. And they definitely did not expect them to have a draw against Spain. They probably thought they'd be wiped out right in the early round. But here they are, a tiny country, and they've held their own. So the moral of the story is don't count out a nation until it's had its say there. And I'm talking about the nation of India, 1.4 billion and counting. In other news, the Prime Minister Modi of India was in Seychelles, and he was spotted feeding a 194-year-old turtle, one of the oldest inhabitants of the earth, so I believe, because turtles live for a very long time, even 200 years or whatever, and they're swimming in the sea all the time, and apparently they're not eaten up by the whales or whatever. And then, of course, he has met the Prime Minister of Seychelles, Mr. Hermine something, whatever, I don't remember his name. And they've handed over a patrol vessel for the Seychelles Coast Guard, some ambulances, some utility vehicles for the self-defense of Seychelles, and possibly India would probably want a listening point there off Africa coast and see what the Chinese are up to when they're going up and down in that area. So that is the name of the game there. And on the Indian subcontinent, the rainfall deficit is 40% and above, though they hope that the delayed rain will soon reach the Indian shores. It's all about a system being created in the Bay of Bengal. If it will be created, then it will bring rain. Otherwise, tough luck. While in Europe, The weather is going crazy over a heat dome, and you've had a temperature reading of 41 degrees in Germany, on the border of Germany and France, in a place called Saarbrücken. And in France, of course, there's already been temperatures of about 40 degrees. And the same can be said for England. England has had a temperature of close to 38 degrees. And the same can be true of Denmark and Netherlands. So they're getting a taste of Indian weather, if I might say so. And so that is all there is. We wish you a great day. And before we go, we have to say the Iran war ain't over. And it looks like the tit for tat exchanges are continuing after Iran struck a cargo ship there. The US went and bombed some more radar facilities in Iran. And then Iran bombed some American facilities in Bahrain and Kuwait. So I wonder where it will stop. And in the other scenario, that is Lebanon, state of Israel has held on to its 10-kilometer advance inside Lebanon and has vowed to stay there until Hezbollah disarms. And the Hezbollah people say, we're never going to disarm until Israel is out of there. And they're quite correct. Israel does not belong in Lebanon. And very interesting, and a lot of our YouTube friends should look at the history of Israel. Israel was created by an act of the British during the time of Lord Balfour, that's in the 1900s, when the British had occupied Palestinian land and were involved in World War I and were running out of money. And they sold the land, that is that Palestinian land, to a banker, European banker, Jewish banker called Rothschild. And from there onwards, the state of Israel was created. Otherwise, there was not going to be any state of Israel as such. So they have already been living on stolen land. It's time to leave now and go somewhere else and give the land back to the rightful people, which is the Palestinians. On that merry note, we leave you. Thank you very much.